Y'all, I just wanted to let y'all know that this video was a tough one to make. Stroke brain got the best of me a few times and my train of thought completely derailed. But I decided to keep going anyway. Thanks for your patience and for walking through this journey with me. I love y'all. Are y'all ready for some chili? Well, come on over and I'll show you how I make mine using Pampered Chef products. So my lovely cousin Venus, who asked for a demonstration on some Pampered Chef products I have, this is for you, baby girl. Welcome back to my kitchen. So I'm going to be making some chili today in my pressure cooker, which is a quick cooker from Pampered Chef. And yes, I am using other things from Pampered Chef, like the cutting board that I've got the little rubberized edges. No, I am not receiving any compensation for mentioning Pampered Chef. So, okay, so I've also got some foods that I have pressure canned. Now, I put a screw top lid on it because there was some leftover beef broth, but I need a cup and a half of beef broth. And then this is homemade rotel, which is tomatoes and peppers. And then I've got some black beans that I have canned that also go into the recipe, and some tomato paste that I've canned. So those are my home canned things. Then I've got, the recipe calls for a medium onion. I don't really have a medium onion. I've got two smalls though. So I'm going to be cutting those up. I do have a tool here that you'll want to see. And I'm sure there are better ones out there, but this is what I have. But this is a Pioneer Woman. I don't know if you can see that. Pioneer Woman uh, slicer, dicer. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it's called. Oh, wait. Yeah, I do. Because I've got it right here. There you go. Pioneer One, Woman, 8-in-1, food slicer and chopper. Okay. So that's what it is. And when I'm doing that, I will probably have you on fast forward so that you won't have to listen to the banging. But oh, and I've got some spices up here that I'll need. And I don't have all the spices, but oh, okay. I don't have all the spices, but what I have should suffice. I'm also using, instead of oil, I'm using some ghee that I have canned. That's not a pressure canning thing. That is not approved by the USDA or the people who, oh, that's my coffee maker's ready. um, the canning people, that's not approved. So just putting it out there for you. Okay, so what I'm going to do is cut up my onions. Oh, I didn't even tell you what the spices were. Okay, so I've got roasted garlic. You see that? Roasted garlic, ground cumin. Can't go anywhere without lamb parents. And chili powder and oregano. Now, I don't have enough chili powder, so what I'm going to do is add some pepper flakes. Can you see that? I think so. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and prepare my onion to go through the chopper thingy. and I'll be right back. Oh, and also I have a scrap bag. So what I do is I put my peelings like from garlic and from onions and the tips of green beans when I'm canning, I'll put in there. It's a food scrap bag. And when that bag is full, like this one, I'm going to make some broth. And let me show you some of that. Let's see. That's a dark container. Let me use this one. So this is what it will look like. Okay. We don't really have much storage, so everything goes under where the fireplace used to be before it died. So, okay. There are my onions all ready to go in. Okay, this can go in the sink. And then what I'm going to do is measure out my spices, so those are ready to go. And I'm going to do that one off camera, not off camera. I'm going to do that one uh, so you can see the fast forwarding stuff. I don't need garlic for this one. I'm so used to pulling out garlic. I was wrong. I do have all the spices I need. What I don't have are jalapeno and a bell pepper. So those are the two things I'm missing. But these are my lovely spices ready to go in. Let me flip that around. There we go. My lovely spices are ready to go in. Put those over here. Okay, so all that stuff is out of the way. And now what we're going to do is I brought my quick cooker over here, my pressure cooker. Pampered Chef, no, I'm not endorsed. Hey, Pampered Chef, y'all want to endorse me? I'm brand new at what I do. Anyway, so I'm taking some, it calls for oil, but I am going to use ghee instead of oil, like I said. And I'm just going to drop that down in there. Ooh, sorry about the clanking. And then I've got my, no, I'm not sponsored by these guys either, but I'm using Butcher Box organic ground beef. Yikes. Okay, and then what I do is I have to, you know what I didn't do? I didn't turn on the daggum quick cooker. Let me do that right quick. Okay, so I'm going to put that on sear, and I'm going to get it started. Okay, then for the ground beef, wash my hands right quick. I don't want to touch stuff with nasty ground beef fingers. But I'm just going to, I know you can't see it. I got limited space here, folks. But I'm just going to put some salt on it. And I think it does call for half a teaspoon. I really have no idea how much I'm putting on there. I've got recipes and I don't always follow them straight along like I should. Oh, you know what else I'm going to need? Let's see. Okay. Okay, this is Pampered Chef. I'm sure everybody knows what this is. It's one of those hamburger breaker upper things. Yeah. And then I'm using Kent Rollins thing. I wouldn't say it's cherry wood, but I'm not sure that's right. Spatula thing. Okay, so, all right. Y'all want to come take a peek? So that's how we're looking right now. And I'm sorry if you're not able to see that very clearly. Small spaces, one person. Okay, so I salted my beef and then I'm going to drop it down in here. Get down in there. Okay. Then I'm going to wash my hands again. You got to keep your hands clean, especially when you're dealing with food. Let's see, I'll put that up there for now. And you're just going to brown it. It doesn't have to be cooked all the way through. And I've also made it with like stew meat. It gives it a different kind of flavor, or different, not flavor, texture. It's got a different texture to it. So I change up the way I do it, really, depending on what I've got on hand. Okay, so that is browned. It is not all the way cooked. I'm gonna pull it out of here. I know you can't see what I'm doing. It's an angle thing. Sticking it in the microwave to keep it out of the way. Okay, then I'm going to drop in all those beautiful onions. we're going to soften the onions. And I'm only saying onions because I don't have the peppers to soften. It's just onions. Then now what I'm going to do is add about a quarter of a cup of the beef broth. And I'm going to use the wooden spatula thingy from Kent Rollins to scrape up the good bits, also known as deglazing. And if y'all don't have one of these spatulas, you might want to get one. Tell you what I'll do. I'll link it in the description for you. Okay. So what I do now is I pour in the rest of the yummy beef goodness. Mm-mm-mm. And oh, I tell you what, because I don't have the proper amount, the correct amount of tomato paste. This is a 4-ounce jar. It calls for 6 ounces. They don't make 6-ounce jars. So what I'm going to do is use less liquid that's here in the tomatoes, and that should be fine. That should work, right? Okay. Oh yeah, I've got this little guy. I got it from Amazon. It came in a 2-pack, but I left one of them in the mountains in Georgia when my family went there earlier this year. So you just stick that little doodad under there, and I think you can see that. Just pull it up. So I'm just going to drain this right quick. And I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and add in the black beans. Oh yeah, I forgot. These aren't canned, these are home canned. So I have to coax them out of there. They're not filled with a bunch of liquid. There is liquid in there, but it was only enough to pressure can it. And I do have to can up some more because this is my last jar. Okay. Do that. Oh, and I'm not supposed to stir that. Well, too late now. Okay. Do this. That'll get the extra off of there. And that's just my ghee spoon. I'll tell you what, I'll just dip it down in there. Okay, now I'm going to add, how am I going to do this if it's still dripping? There we go. So Now I've got the tomatoes in there, and then what I do is I put the tomato paste in there. I just use this same spoon. Okay, let's see. Sorry if it's clanking. Okay. Y'all, I forgot to add in the spices. So I just went ahead and added them in and mixed it all together. It says the instructions say not to, but what's done is done, right? All right. And then what we do is we grab the lid. We're going to stick it on there, turn it to lock it, press the cancel button, make sure my doodad is down. And then I'm going to bring it over here to, can't see it. Bring it over here to chili. Can you see that? Okay. And then, so now what it's doing is building up pressure so that it can pressure cook. So I'll bring you back when it's closer to being finished. In the meantime, I've got some dishes to do. I'll see y'all in just a bit. You'll see me in just a sec. It's almost finished. It's finished. Okay, so, oh, yeah, I don't turn it off yet. I'm going to let it go, and it's going to depressurize for about 10 or 15 minutes, and this will go up showing me how many minutes it's been. I'll be back. So what we're going to do now is to press the steam release. Let me turn on the fan. Okay, no. Okay, I had to wait for this, ouch, for this red thingy to go down. I don't know if you can see that. There's a red thingy here, and I had to wait for that to go down. Now, when you open up the lid, you're going to want to open it away from you so you don't get steam in your face. Let's see how that's doing. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, that looks really. Let me bring y'all over. I'm not making it fair for you. There's chili. So I'm going to let that sit with the lid off for about 10 or 15 minutes. And I'll be able to do a taste test. There we go. I'm going to let it sit for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then I'll come back and do a taste test. Okay, it's been sitting for about 15 minutes. So I'm going to, let you look at it. Giving it a healthy stir. And you see by sitting how much thicker it got. It's not as runny. And my son is going to be home in a little bit from work, but y'all know I have to do a taste test. Let's see. Um, mm, that tastes so good, y'all. And I probably should have let it cool off a little bit before I stuck it in my mouth. I'm sure those taste buds will be fine after a while. Thank you for joining me in my house, in my kitchen, for chili and coffee. Not necessarily in that order. I look forward to the next time you come over. Much love from Tennessee.